All right, ladies and gentlemen, programmers alike, we're going to do lesson 3, platform jumper. Okay, you know the drill. Red text means take notes, green means do stuff. Part 1, here we go. Here's what you should have so far. Okay, so what you should have so far is you should have a jumper class. It's an abstract class. You're never going to put a jumper in there. You should have enemies that are part of jumper class, and then you should actually have your bad guys with a good name. All these guys have capital letters. So if you don't have it set up like this, go ahead and do that. If you need help, I'll help you. And then your good guy should have a good name. Okay, my good guy's name is Nacho, and he should also be a class of jumper. Okay, you should have that so far. And then if you go into jumper, you should have a couple. You should borrow some of the methods from some of our other projects. You should have the at-world edge method so that they know when they're at the edge of the world. You should probably have the can see method that we got from the crab, an animal. Eat is a good one. And then we made this one, move right. So we're changing his X location. And oh, by the way, see that plus speed? If you're using plus speed, wait, no, never mind. Okay, and then move left, we're setting the location now. This time we're changing the minus subtracting speed. Okay, so that's what you should have so far. Let's make sure I have everything. Yeah. Okay, so the other thing that you need to have is you need to have another abstract class called platforms. Okay, and then you can have various grounds and scaffolding and so on and so forth. Again, the platform is an abstract class. The platform never becomes an object in the world. It's just a super class of the different types of objects that you're going to have. Excuse me. Okay, that's what you should have so far. If you don't have that, do it. Okay, so we need some random behavior. Our current enemy only moves right. We need random behavior. Greenfoot has a random number method. We know this from before. When a method we wish to call is not in our own class or is not inherited, we need to specify the class or object that has the method before the method name followed by dot. This is called the dot notation, so you know what's coming. We're going to say something like greenfoot.getRandomNumber. Okay. From now on, when we want to teach someone something new, we will write the method call first. Then we're going to create a method definition placeholder and then code the method. Write that down. So here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to do that. Let's use the getRandomNumber method to make the bad guy move right and left at random times. Okay, so let's see what's next. Okay, so number 1, write the method call first. So we're going to come over to our guy and we're going to go to our bad guy. So my bad guy that I'm working with right now is Nicodemus. So you go to your bad guy. Okay, and then we're going to have to do this guy. So right after the class header, we're going to say private int speed equals 5. Okay, we'll talk. This is an integer variable. So we basically have a box called speed, and currently it's holding the number 5. But we'll talk more about that in depth later. Okay, now here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to the act method, and we're going to write. We don't need this one yet. We'll get rid of that. Just pretend that's not there. So before we had this thing that said move right speed. Okay, you guys all had that. He was just moving right. We're going to get rid of that, and we're going to say, hey, let's change directions, parentheses, parentheses, semicolon. Okay. Okay, so according to our plan, the next thing we're going to do is, so we say, hey, what do I want to do? I want to change direction. Well, does our guy know how to do this? No, we got to teach him. So we come out after the act method, we hit enter, and we're going to type in public void, because it's a command, right, not a question. We're asking him to do something, and then we're going to say change direction, parentheses, parentheses, remember no semicolon here, opening bracket, enter, enter, closing bracket. Alright, so this is good stuff so far. If I were to compile, it's not going to have any errors. He's still not going to do anything when I change direction. Okay, now let's do this. Let's go edit, add method comments, and let's tell it what we want to do. We want to switch right and left randomly. Okay, so that's what we want to do. Well, how are we going to accomplish that? Well, we know we need a random number, so we're going to say something like if. Now we have to use our Greenfoot dot get. Okay, so now the question is, what random number are we going to use? And 100 seems to be a nice thing. So do we want it to switch directions a lot or a little? So probably not very often. So we're going to say is less than a small number, like let's say 3. So if greenfoot.getRandomNumber, so this is our conditional statement, so we need our opening bracket and our closing bracket. Okay, and so what do we want him to do? If greenfoot.getRandomNumber, so we want him to switch direction. Okay, so right now speed is equal to 5. Well, if we want him to go the opposite direction, we need to turn that to a -5. How do we change that to a -5? We'd say something like this: speed equals speed times a -1. So now if speed is 5, now it turns into a -5. If it's -5, it turns 5. Oh, and you know what we need? Sorry, let's go back. We actually need this move right speed, because this is going to tell us, so every now and then this is going to go from 5 and he's going to go right, and then it's going to change to -5 and it's going to go left. Let's compile this and see what it does. Let's find out if, let's see what Nacho, or let's see what Nicodemus does. We put a new Nicodemus in there, we run it, and yeah, that's pretty good. Now the only thing we should probably have is this thing that when he hits the edge, we need to switch directions when he gets to the edge. So we could probably write some of the same code over here. So we're going to do something like this. We're going to say probably turn at edge, parentheses, semicolon, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to come down here. We're going to type in public void turn at edge. So we have our opening bracket, closing bracket, and what are we going to do there? We're going to copy this, paste this, and then we do our method comment, edit, add method comment. If you get to the edge of the world, turn around. Okay, something like that. Let's compile that, and let's see if Nicodemus indeed now turns when he gets to the edge of the world. That doesn't work. What did we do wrong? Something's wrong with our if. Oh, totally forgot my if statement. If at world there we go. Something like that, and then you press Control Shift and I, and it lines everything up. Let's compile that. Okay, now let's try that. We run it. Well, it'll probably work. Okay, so that's good. So that's good. That's good. All right. So we've accomplished that. So our new technique is we write the method call first, change direction, then we create the definition placeholder, we add method comments, and then we add the code in the method body. So that's the technique we're going to use from now on. All right. Bad guy. Okay, so we need to get the bad guy to remove the good guy. We want the bad guy to remove the good guy. So what methods have we used in the past that will help the bad guys to kill the good guys? And write that down in your notes, but we know that it's can see and eat. So if you can see if you can add the code to the crab's act method so that he will eat the worms. Okay. So I don't know, that's pretty easy. Let's go to our bad guy, and so we know that we're going to say, we're going to write in our fashion that we've been doing, we're going to say look for Nacho. Okay, and then we're going to come down here, and we're going to say something like public void look for Nacho, parentheses, parentheses. We're going to go edit, add method comment. Okay, so you're going to say if you can see Nacho, eat Nacho, and then eventually we're going to do that. We're going to do this later, so you can skip this for now. If you can see Nacho, eat Nacho. Okay, good. So let's see what happens now. Let's put our Nacho here. We run it. Oh, did I not compile it? Oh, I didn't compile it. Okay, so here's our good guy. Here's our bad guy. We run it. Apparently, there, let's move that. Okay, and so he eats him and then plays a sound. We're going to talk about the sound later. Okay, so again, we write the method call first, look for whatever your good guy's name is, create the method definition placeholders, add comments, and then code the method body. Alright, that's it for this first one.